Welcome to Work Reborn, live from Barcelona, brought to you by Lenovo. Work Reborn is a research series surveying over 600 senior IT leaders worldwide to uncover the key to creating a productive digital workplace. Last report, we talked about using AI to work smarter and stay safer. Now we're moving from AI readiness to AI reality, where technology and human connection are reshaping how we work and thrive in this new era of work, or as we like to call it, Work Reborn. Let's get started. Hey, Mollie, welcome to the Lenovo Work Reborn podcast. Thank you so much for joining me today.
No, thanks very much.
So tell me a little bit about who you are and what you do.
So, Mollie Brentnall, I am the UK and Ireland IT Director for Crawford Co. We are in the loss adjusting space within insurance. And what I do is make sure that all the techie bits work so that when stuff goes wrong, we can get out there and fix it as quickly as possible.
That is an important job.
Yeah.
I think, when we've talked about IT and the importance of it on this podcast, we talk a lot about the innovation and we've talked about, the productivity, but I think resolving conflict and issue resolution is just as important when it comes to running an effective IT operation at your organization, right?
Definitely.
And part of that, though, is there is a new, not so new thing anymore, I say new thing called AI, right?
Yeah.
That's like entered the workplace that we really are trying to understand from our leaders, like how they're implementing it within their organization on top of what I'm saying, which is the conflict resolution, the innovation, whatever. For a lot of leaders, it feels like an added lift, as some organizations, not all.
Yeah.
And according to our research, we found that 43% of senior IT leaders say that their teams still don't have the AI skills needed for full adoption. So, in your opinion, what's your approach to closing that gap, whether it's upskilling internally, hiring new talent, or partnering externally?
It is all of them.
All of them.
So I never like to do one thing when I can do three, because that would be really boring.
Yeah.
So I did have a conversation actually with a vendor earlier this week about getting them to come in and showing us how to use the tools we've already got better. And we were talking about doing it in a few stages, being realistic about the pace of change that people can really take in. And it tied in really nicely with the keynote we heard this morning here at Gartner Symposium, which was all about AI readiness and people readiness and getting the two to come together. So, it's quite easy to buy in a tool. And it's really easy to Google, what can I do with this tool, and use it to that much degree. But what we're trying to do with that partner is getting down to the next levels. And then what we want to do from that is then building into more enterprise level adjustment. So at the moment we're doing a lot of, kind of individual use case activity. So it might be around a person and a tool. It might be around a business process. And we've got access to LinkedIn Learning, which is great for that. But it's also about how can we look at it at that higher, more end-to-end level. McKinsey were telling us earlier about how they've done that in some areas and had some fantastic results. And I think particularly our industry in insurance and in loss adjusting is really ripe for that. So it's about how we can rework it. And something that we're really passionate about at Crawford is having the technology there to support the people. So it's about enablement. It's about allowing them to do the bits that tech really just can't do. Often we might be taking a phone call for somebody that's just suffered a loss. So maybe they've just had a car accident or they've just had something awful happen to their home. You are not putting that person in front of a little magic box that goes beep,
Right,
You're having
absolutely.
an expert talking to them, supporting them, guiding them. That's where people are really, really amazing. So it's about how can we use tech, as I say at the moment, iteratively, but then end to end, to take away some of those back office activities or less value add activities so we can really focus on the people doing the people bits.
And I mean, yes, insurance is a great use case here because the level of admin behind the scenes and paperwork and, processes that need to be rightfully so gone through in order to assure everything is done well also could probably prohibit the level of productivity as well, too. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Oh, definitely. I mean, as an example, right, if you're a business and you have loss of earnings, you're also going to have things like your utility bills are going to be coming out. So in your insurance, you might well have the insurer would pay your utility whilst you can't operate your business. Well, so you need to evidence it. So you're sending in your gas bills. Well, best will in the world, it's not really a human-only thing to take a gas bill, take a number from it, and send it to an insurer. Like, that is not the most exciting thing in the world.
Right.
Nobody wants to do that 9 to
Right.
5. So those are the kinds of activities that we can automate, that we can standardize, that we can simplify, we can make self-serve, so that then the people that are there can, as you say, really focus in on the stuff that people do. And they're not doing the stuff that they find frustrating. And that's where I think the powerhouse of AI is. It's finding the use cases that we don't want to do. I must admit, there's a few things that people are talking about here, and I'm like, but those are fun.
Yes.
Like, why would you use AI to do that fun thing or that creative thing? That, to me, doesn't add value. What adds value is taking the boring, the mundane, some of the stuff that's a little bit too difficult for like an RPA,
Right.
that needs just a little bit of different approach to it. Maybe it's diving in and doing some deep research and providing that information to an analyst who then gets the real value from it. So
I love the deep research tool so much for that reason.
It's absolutely amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And especially for like a novice like me, I'm not fantastic at that kind of stuff. But I can get to a next level using a tool. And that tool might be AI, it might be a spreadsheet, it might be a calculator. But
and it
AI
might be all
is a
three,
different-
like you said.
Absolutely. If in doubt, use all of them. See what results you get. Play with it.
Yeah.
But you do need to, certainly at the moment, you do need to be quite careful,
Right.
I think, about trusting those results. Unless you are like the world's best prompt engineer, you are getting 70, 80% accuracy.
Right.
So you do have to be careful with it. But I do think that's all about that enablement of people.
I want to dive deeper into something you touched on earlier, which is when you're able to make the task like more productive and you're able to focus on other things,
Yeah.
it opens up new opportunities.
Definitely.
And if we imagine the next stage of the digital workplace, a few things come to mind from what we found from our research. Like, is the digital workplace predictive, proactive? Is it personalized? What do you think will separate the companies that thrive from those that fall behind in the next 18 months? And when I made this question, I really wanted to focus on the next 18 months because we used to say, in the next 5 years, but with how fast things are changing.
It's moving too quick for us to guess.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
So I think it's going to be around options and personalization. So, for example, at the moment, we're working on our next level portal that we're creating for customers. And when we're doing that, we're looking at multiple ways that people may want to contact us. Some people want to write us a letter by post. Great. Some people want to pick up the phone. You might want to email. You might want to use a WhatsApp. You might want to use a chatbot. And it's about making sure all of those are equally available. And I find that really exciting because that, to me, I'm big on D&I, accessibility. And that's what this plays to. So we're not saying anymore that you can only contact us in this way. We're saying you contact us how it works for you. And that may vary throughout the process. It may vary based on your emotional state. It may need to be different because of accessibility needs that you have. But we can support you in the same way however you contact us. I just think that's really cool,
Yes.
It's that options to say, well, we can give you 17 things and you choose what works for you. But we can work with them efficiently, effectively, and tie it all into one thing. So your view is simple, even if we have complexity in the way that we're working with you.
I'm glad you brought up accessibility because another lens of accessibility that fascinates me with AI and actually excites me truly is the employee experience. And if we think about how to empower an employee, those that have different, thinking or learning styles can now access tools to help them do better at their job that maybe they wouldn't have had the opportunity to do before.
Absolutely.
Have you seen that
Yeah.
in your organization where tools that weren't there before but now have helped empower employees?
Definitely. I mean, on a personal level.
Yeah.
So I actually just got diagnosed as neurodivergent last week.
Yes.
And I use so many tools to help me. I didn't realize how many until
Yeah.
I was going through the assessment and they were like, how do you deal with this situation? I'm like, well, I do this.
Yes.
I have lists of things I use. And one of the things I will use is I use my Copilot to find stuff. I can absolutely remember the conversation with the person. There was a picture and it looked a bit like this.
Yes.
No normal search engine could find that for me, but my Copilot can.
Yes.
So I can use that tool to support my brain in the way that it works. and I can then be my best self, and I can focus on the stuff I'm really good at.
Right.
I don't have to be a filing system,
Right.
I can make that for myself. So there are some fantastic tools, and I know colleagues, especially with dyslexia, are finding it so useful to be able to use different kinds of function. Colleagues who are not particularly creative are finding it brilliant to be able to get a PowerPoint slide looking like a real PowerPoint slide.
Right.
So having all these different tools can be absolutely amazing. And I think it's having, almost like I was saying before with the portal, lots of different options. You choose what you use. I think that's where we're getting to now, especially around generative AI, is you choose how you use it, you choose what you use and what you use it for. It gives us a more level playing field.
Yeah, I love that. And I think it also, could be an opportunity to personalize onboarding or training experiences for employees, because what you're saying is right. The different tools allow you to consume the material in various ways. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that's something you guys are doing at your organization, but that could be
So
cool.
I mean, our training and onboarding, we do it in person, we do
Right.
it online, we have videos, we have
Yeah.
documents. I actually got some stuff through the other week, and I was delighted. And they sent it through as a Word document and as a video.
That's awesome.
And a video I could watch at double speed.
Yes, yes, yes. I love
So I was
that.
like, I feel seen, know?
Yes.
And I think sometimes it's those quite small things, but they do make a big difference,
Hmm.
And like I can search in the Word document, I can use the AI summary on it. But I can watch the video for when I can't do that. I can watch the video for, I've got 5 minutes, zoom, zoom, zoom. This is the bit I'm interested in, So it gives everybody more flexibility.
I love that you said that it makes you feel seen, because I do think that is an important component of the employee experience. On another podcast, we were talking about like, what is employee experience? Is it making your employees happy? I mean, I feel that it's making your employees feel empowered, but how is that done? It's what you just said. It's making them feel seen by
Absolutely.
providing those things and putting them into place.
But it's also about engaging them in the process. So we've just developing at the moment a really cool tool that helps with subsidence. So subsidence, really sexy topic, obviously.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Woo. But it's big in our world.
Yes.
And it's really difficult.
Yeah.
So you ring up and you say to your insurer, oh my gosh, I think my house might be collapsing.
Yeah.
You're in a state. The insurer says, oh my God, that sounds really stressful. Here we go. Let's have a look at when someone can physically come to your house and have a look. Oh, that's going to be 6 weeks away. Well, that's horrible, isn't it? Because you're
Yes.
worried. You want someone out there immediately.
Right.
Well, we've developed a tool where you can go out with your phone, as long as it's safe, do your pictures, do your scans,
Yes.
answer questions about where trees are. It's inputting what the trees are and the ground types and stuff. But just in case you've chopped a tree down in the last 2 weeks, you're validating it.
Yes.
You're validating where your drainage are and all this kind of stuff. And it will be able to give somebody who's working remotely enough information that they can give you a really accurate response really quickly. So it might be the next day you can go on a call with that person. They've reviewed your file that you've sent to them, and they're looking at it going, do you know what, you're fine. Your house is not falling apart.
Yes.
And that is the case in huge numbers of these phone calls we get. So you're just taking all that stress away from people. You're making it speedy. We're saving, time. We're saving an awful lot of carbon on having people driving to people's houses. And then on those cases where there is a challenge, we are able to get to them faster. So I feel like that's the kind of use case where we can absolutely revolutionize the workflows.
That is such a great use case. Thank you so much for sharing that. My next question for you is more personal, not so much technical, but in your opinion, if AI could make one part of your IT operations invisible overnight in the best possible way, what would you choose and why?
I would love to have no tickets to the service desk,
Ooh,
because that would
yes.
mean that and I don't know what the AI tool is that does this. If
Yeah.
you've got one, send it to me.
Yes.
But I would
We have
love
a couple things that you might want to look into.
So I would love something that was out there scanning, looking. Oh, that user hasn't logged on. That user normally starts work at 8:42 on a Tuesday,
Yeah.
because that's when they start work. They haven't come online. Is something up with their computer? Is something weird? Have they got something blocked in their diary that says doctors, in which case don't hassle them? But actually, do they need a proactive WhatsApp message just going, is your computer all right?
Right.
Or are they struggling because they're getting blue screen of death,
That
Wouldn't it be-
blue screen,
Oh, I know.
it's so true. It's so true.
But wouldn't it be fantastic if
Right.
when you've got an issue, you don't need to report it? Like, it is reported.
yeah,
And
there's-
somebody there is able to pick it up and support you really quickly, because best will in the world, we're all going to have issues at some point.
Yes.
But how fantastic would that be?
I mean,
oh, now I've dreamed up. I want it.
I mean, we might have something in the works, so you want to
Yeah.
check out when it comes to that. So, but regardless, it is a very real one. It's an overwhelm to the IT department to be inundated with these small piddly little tickets.
Yeah.
Yes, they're important, but like it does impede the ability to work on the more exciting things.
It does, but they're so important to the end user.
Right.
That's the thing. Like, you know what it's like when you have an IT
Right,
issue.
it's needed.
It ruins your day.
Right.
You know, I had it the other day where I must admit I'd forgotten the password to get into my iPad. I really wanted to get into my iPad. I
Yeah.
needed to do some stuff. That was the most useful tool to do it. And I'm lucky because I'm a senior person in IT. I can ping somebody and get it fixed in like 2 minutes.
You have
But
the
it's-
insider.
I have the
yeah.
insider track.
Yeah.
But if I'd have had to pick up the phone, call the desk, explain that I was being a numpty and I'd forgotten my own password,
Right,
that would have really made my day feel rubbish.
right.
Now, from an IT service desk perspective, that is a user who's taking up time,
Right.
totally self-inflicted.
Right.
But to that user, it's really important to get a quick resolution, you know, and that happens so many times a day, especially the larger your organization, the more often people will make mistakes or systems genuinely are broken. And just to make that frictionless, amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have some things in place at Lenovo that we're working on that's what we call the predictive IT support, predictive IT, to hopefully make progress towards that, because it wouldn't be nice if you had a crystal ball that could show you
amazing.
everything that is going to go wrong and that they will be fixed.
Almost like a digital twin of your IT estate.
Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah,
That'd
and
be
it
so
goes,
cool.
oh, 100,000 mile warning.
Yes.
That one's gonna blow.
Yes,
yeah.
yes. Yeah, that'd be
That
pretty
would be cool.
Yeah. Well, to round out this conversation, Mollie, thank you so much, by the way. It's been a pleasure to have you. What do you think the future of work is to you? Like, for us, we call it work reborn, like that term. What does work reborn mean?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's about being able. So my personal thing is,
Right.
if I do it twice, I automate it. I don't think I'm going to have to do it twice to automate it. I think in the future, it's like, do it once, something picks it up, it goes away, and then you can do something new and fresh and
Yes.
different. And I think that's what the future of work is leveraging those things that only people can do, which is being creative, which is being innovative, which is coming up with a thing that you can't go out and hunt and find off the internet because nobody's done it yet.
Yes.
I think getting to spend more time on those areas, that's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mollie, for that
Thank you.
insight and being one of the many leaders that has shared, their points of view on this topic. If anyone is interested in learning more about the Work Reborn report, make sure you download a copy for yourself. You can click the link in the description below. And if you're watching us on YouTube, a QR code will magically appear here that you can scan to grab a copy for yourself. And that's a wrap. Thank you, Mollie.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for tuning in to Work Reborn, powered by Lenovo. Lenovo is turning readiness into reality, empowering people, technology, and businesses to move forward together. If you've enjoyed this episode, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow us on Apple or Spotify to continue the conversation on how we're bringing new life to the modern workplace. Thanks for watching.
Lenovo.